Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with another NFL offseason video. Guys, the NFL Combine is coming up on the 1st of March. Players will begin doing on-field workouts. I believe it's on March 3rd. So, yeah, Combine's coming really soon. I decided to make a top 10 list of guys that you should take a look out for when the Combine comes. Guys that I think will definitely be raising their stock when the Combine comes. So definitely, study up on them, watch their film, and yeah, see how their Combine goes. So these aren't really in any order, but I tried to order them. Kind of these first few guys are guys that, yeah, most people know and honestly kind of predict will raise their stock with the Combine. But kind of the bottom of this list, towards the end, are going to be guys, excuse me, guys that I don't think quite as many people know about that I think could boost their stock into, third round, maybe even as high as second round. So, let's go ahead and get on into it. First, we have Jermaine Johnson. You guys all know how high I am on Jermaine Johnson. I actually had him going as high as number 4, I think, in the mock draft the other day. I love this kid. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. And really, I think he has a burst and mentality that Kayvon Thibodeau even doesn't have. So I really like this kid. I think he's going to end up being like a really good Von Miller, Hassan Reddick, Brian Burns type of player. I think we're going to see him test really, really well in the 40-yard dash. I think he's going to be one of, if not the fastest edge rusher there. So I'm excited to see how he does. So then going to number 9, we have another Johnson here. We have Zion Johnson. He really rose his stock quite a bit with the Senior Bowl. Beforehand, he was kind of a early to mid second round pick, but with the Senior Bowl, he did really, really well, and I think solidified himself as a first rounder. I know some mocks would probably have put him kind of in the bottom end of the first. I would probably put him top 25, maybe top 20. I think, honestly, with the Combine, if he tests well, I think he could get up there into the top 15, or even, depending on how needy teams are for an offensive guard, maybe as high as top 10. So I'm really excited to see how he does in the Combine. Then going to number 8 here, another guy that you guys know I am very high on, Devin Lloyd from Utah. This dude he plays hard. Like, he flies around the field, and he's versatile. He can do about anything at the linebacker position. He's really good in coverage. He can stop the run. He can rush the passer. He's just a stud. He flies around the field. And I think the Combine is going to help raise his stock even more. I think it's kind of been a thing that analysts have had a hard time deciding whether he or Nakobe Dean are their number 1 linebacker in the draft. For me, I think it's pretty clear-cut Devin Lloyd. That's just my opinion. But I think the Combine is going to, if he tests well, I think it's going to kind of secure him as that number 1 linebacker. So then number 7, Kaiir Elam, a corner that I have been pretty high on for a while that I don't think gets a lot of love. I still think he is a first-round corner. I do not think he deserves to fall out of the first round, though I really never see him in mock drafts in the first round, in the first round anymore. I think the dude's an absolute beast, and I will say he's my number 4 corner behind Ahmad Gardner, Derek Stingley, and Andrew Booth. And he's still a first-round corner that I think could go in the top 25. This is another guy that he's lengthy, he's fast, like he's got all of the tools to be a really good corner. I think if he can test well at the combine, teams are really, really going to love that, and who knows, he may pass up Andrew Booth on a lot of people's boards. So he may secure himself a top 20 draft spot. But then going down to number 6, we have John Metchie from Alabama. I don't think this dude gets talked about enough, especially his speed. The dude is insanely fast. I really wouldn't be surprised if he runs... honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs faster than a 4.35. The dude has really good speed, but he's a really good route runner at the same time. Like he's not just a deep threat that can't do anything else. Like he is a good route runner as well. But yeah, I think this is another one that his 40-yard dash is going to really tell a lot of teams what he's about. So I think a lot of teams are going to like that, and I think it's going to be good. Number 5, this is a guy that I actually wasn't super familiar with. I had never even heard his name until Mel Kiper had him drafted in the first round in one of his mock drafts. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I decided to do some research on him. He's good. He's powerful off the edge. He's fast though too. Like he's not just a pure power rusher. He gets off the ball quick. I think this is definitely a guy that is going to impress a lot of scouts at the combine. He's really good. Right now, he's projected a like mid to late third rounder. I think he's gonna, with the combine, secure himself more like a early to mid second round draft pick. So yeah, definitely take a look for him. Number 4, Calvin Austin. This is a guy that I wasn't super familiar with until the Senior Bowl came. I don't know that I had ever really heard his name prior to the Senior Bowl, but the dude is impressive. He's kind of like Shi Smith from last year, where not a lot of people really knew about him prior to the Senior Bowl, but had a really good Senior Bowl performance and impressed a lot of scouts. He's so fast. He plays bigger than he is. Like, he's not a big receiver by any means, but he plays so much bigger. Like, his catch radius is insane. I think he's definitely one of the better route runners in this draft class. He has surefire hands. Like, the dude doesn't drop anything. This is definitely a guy I would advise you to go watch some tape on him. He will impress you. I really like this kid. I'm excited to see what he does at the combine, see where he gets drafted. So then number 3, I've got Ed Ingram. Oh, excuse me. Ed Ingram from LSU. This was a guy that I really kind of expected to be more like a very late second rounder, maybe early to mid third rounder. But his right now kind of projected as more of a mid to late fourth rounder. And that's one that I don't know if the media just is sleeping on him, but I think he's a really well balanced guard. I feel like you see a lot of guards in the draft that are only really good at run blocking or only really good at pass blocking. He's really versatile. Now, I will say there's nothing in his game that necessarily wows me. Like, he's not going to be, an instant Pro Bowl guard, but he's really good at both run blocking and pass blocking. I think he can fit about any scheme, and I think if a team can snag him, even early third round, I think it'd be a pretty big steal. I think he's going to have a good combine. But then number 2, I have Josh Jobe. This dude is another guy that people just aren't talking about enough. He's really fast. I think he's a really solid zone corner, to be honest. I don't really see him doing super well in man, especially against bigger receivers. I mean, you can even tell from the picture right there that he's not a real big corner. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to be drafted, as high as the second or third round, obviously. But I think he may be able to sneak up as high as the end of the third round. I think he does really, really well in zone, especially against those speedier receivers and better route running receivers. I just wouldn't pair him up against big receivers like Mike Evans or DK Metcalf or, AJ Brown, guys like that. So, but I'm excited to see what he does. And then number 1, a guy that I don't think a lot of you guys would have expected here, Kaiir Elam from BYU. Now I'll say I live in Utah, so I'm pretty familiar with a lot of guys from different Utah schools. That's why I know so much about Devin Lloyd. I've watched him quite a bit. But yeah, Kaiir Elam he's a beast. He's about 5'11", 220 pounds. He's kind of a Mike Davis type of running back. He's kind of the NFL comparison that I would give for him. He reminds me he reminds me of Mike Davis. Sorry, I can't speak right now. He reminds me a lot of Mike Davis, the way he runs. He runs through people. He's a power back. And I know 5'11", 220 in the NFL. I mean, I know that's not really what a lot of teams look at as power. A lot of the power backs are more like 240, 250, whatever. I think Allgeier will end up putting on 5'10" pounds before the season. And I think he's going to be good. I don't know that his combine's going to raise his stock super, super high, but I want you guys to at least see how he tests, watch some of his film, and he's definitely what I would call a sleeper prospect in the NFL. It's hard to say how much higher he will end up being drafted because running backs typically don't get drafted super, super high. But yeah, keep an eye on this guy. I think he's going to be an absolute stud in the NFL. But yeah, guys, these are my 10 guys to keep an eye out for at the combine. I feel very confident that every single one of these guys is going to raise their stock at the combine. So keep an eye out for them. Let me know what you think of these guys in the comment section below. I've done a lot of research on a lot of these guys, especially Calvin Austin. Like I said, his Senior Bowl performance really impressed me. That made me really want to study his tape more. I think he could definitely be a mid to late round steal. So, but yeah, let me know what you think of this list in the comment section below. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.